Okay, so I am an unabashed Spyderco fanboy. I have been for years. My first knife, well, back up. I've been carrying pocket knives my whole life, ever since I was a little kid, in scouts, little Swiss Army knife carrying around in my pocket. I've been carrying knives a long time. My first real pocket knife, my really good quality pocket knife, was a Benchmade that I bought in 2001. I've been carrying pretty much good quality knives ever since. My first Spyderco was in 2004. So I've been carrying knives a long time, specifically Spydercos. And I've become a little bit of a brand loyalist with that particular brand. I have other brands. I like a lot of different types of knives, but I love Spydercos. And I was very excited to find when I found out about the Para3 Lightweight. The Para3 Lightweight was the knife that I had my eye on and I wanted to go get it, but it's got a fatal flaw. Okay, so I have a confession to make. I don't actually own a Para3 Lightweight. So you might think, okay, how do you know anything about the Lightweight if you don't own one, and how can you say it has a fatal flaw? Well, good question. So as I mentioned before, I have been carrying Spydercos for a very long time. And the reason I love Spyderco so much, let's take a look at this one. This is just the Paramilitary 2, as it is well known and loved. The reason I love Spydercos, I'll tell you a couple of things. For one, the Spidey hole. In my opinion, the Spidey hole is the best way to open a knife. Now, thumb studs are fine, flippers are okay, but in terms of being able to get it open, roll it open, flick it open, in gloves, in any way that you want to do it, this, in my opinion, is the best way to open a knife. So score one for Spyderco. Secondly, my favorite lockup of any knife, of all the ones that I've tried and carried, happens to be the compression lock. Here you see on the on the Paramilitary 2. So Spidey hole plus compression lock, I think is just a beautiful combination. So this knife has been in my carry rotation for a very long time. Now, as an EDC knife though, however, it's fairly large. I mean, as we know, it's thick, it's kind of bulky. It may not be the perfect EDC knife for many people to carry around all day long. You may opt for something a little bit smaller. So enter the Para3, right? Para3 is a great smaller alternative to this knife. Terrific little knife. And specifically the Para3 Lightweight, which comes in an FRN handle, FRN scales, deep carry pocket clip. It's got the Spidey hole that I love and the compression lock that everybody loves too. So that seems like a winner, right? Well, I thought so too. However, for a while I've been carrying this little guy. This is the Chaparral FRN, okay? Nice little knife. I've heard it described as the pocket scalpel. It's very, very slicey, full flat grind. CTS XHP steel, which is an excellent steel, by the way. This is my first knife that I've had in this particular type of steel, and I was very, very impressed with it. I think it's one of the best EDC steels out there, and I think it's actually very underrated. A lot of people go with S30V, S35VN, but CTS XHP is fantastic. But anyhow, so this is a great little knife, very thin, very slim, had the deep carry pocket clip, rides low in the pocket. You basically just disappears. You forget it's there once you get it in the pocket. So, but this knife has a fatal flaw, and it carries over to any knife that is like it. And what that is the combination of the FRN scales plus the deep carry wire clip, specifically the wire clip. So if you can see here on this knife, I'm going to try to get it centered. If you can see it here, all it is just a couple of little grooves in the FRN. Now it seems fine, except as anybody knows who's been carrying a knife for a while, what can happen with a pocket clip is they can get snagged on stuff sometimes. It happens. Now, if it gets snagged on something, sometimes it can bend the pocket clip, no big deal. You pop the pocket clip off, you take some pliers, you bend it back into place, and you're good to go, right? Well, yes, however, what happened with this guy is, I flip it over to the other side, you can see how mangled that is right there, but it got snagged on something really hard one time and yanked the pocket clip sideways to the point where it mangled up these grooves, and the pocket clip never sat right ever again. I even sent it back to Spyderco at one point, and they ground down the pocket clip where it sits, making it more flat. And they sent it back, and it worked for a little while, and then it popped again. I even tried, tried putting some adhesive or something in there to try to keep it, but it was never the same after that. And I'm afraid that this knife stays with a pocket clip are numbered, and I'm relegated to either carrying this in a pocket with no clip or carrying it on the left side, which isn't ideal. Or I suppose I can carry it tip up. I carry it, Anyway, you get my point. It doesn't work the way I had normally carried it. But anyhow, this is that's the problem with the Chaparral, FRN, specifically the FRN. Now, this you may have noticed this beautiful new mat I just got. I got this from Blade HQ. They're giving these away. I think they still are. You might be able to get one for every Benchmade that you buy. And I just picked up this guy, the Benchmade Bug Out CF Elite. Been very happy with it. This is a ridiculously lightweight knife, by the way. Was very surprised at how lightweight it is and slim, which is something that I love in an EDC knife. However, what I like about it is the deep carry pocket clip. It's not a wire clip. If you're going to go with an FRN scales, in my opinion, like this old Delica, I've had this Delica forever. If you're going to go with FRN scales, I think you have to go with screws actually going into the body of the knife, and preferably into the liners as well. I think those screws go into the liners too, don't they? They're not just in the FRN. But anyhow, using a wire clip like this one in FRN scales is a recipe for disaster, because it's too easy to get it snagged on something. If those get bent up or chewed up, the pocket clip's never going to go back in there right again, and it's never going to ride again. So this knife is kind of, I don't know if there's any saving it, which is unfortunate, because this is a really great little knife. So if they offered a Para3 lightweight with the FRN with a traditional, either a traditional pocket clip or a pocket clip like this one that is a deep carry but uses screws instead of the wire clip and doesn't just rely on a wire clip sitting in screws, which is, or sitting in grooves, which is essentially just in plastic, then that I think would be much better. So Spyderco, if you happen to see this, I would work on that, because I can't imagine I'm the only person that's had this happen, and it seems like a pretty substantial error and a pretty substantial flaw in the design. So that's why, unfortunately, I'm not going to be getting the Para3 lightweight, which I'm disappointed about, because that seems like such a great knife, and such a ideal, combination of features. You have obviously the Spidey hole, you've got the compression lock, it's slimmer than the Para2, it's slimmer than the PM2, it's much lighter than the PM2. Well, it's lighter anyway, even without the lightweight, but then getting the FRN handles on, or the scales on there, super lightweight, that would be a real winner. But I'm just concerned. I'm concerned that if this happens again, the knife is junk, and that would truly be a bummer. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think, if you've had any experiences with that, or anyone else has experienced that. I can't, like I said, I can't imagine I'm the only one that's had that happen, but hopefully Spyderco addresses that in the future. And I know some people love the wire clip. I honestly hope they move away from them. They're fine apart from that, but they just don't attach to the knife very solid. If that's all it is, that's not good enough in my opinion. The rest of the knife, the rest of really all of Spyderco knives are so, listen to that. How loud that is. It's just a solid lockup. It doesn't go anywhere. All the rest of the parts of Spyderco's are so high quality, so robust, that's just a very big, weak link there. So anyway, all right, thanks guys.